Here's a really common scenario that we see a lot. These corners here take a lot of abuse. And if you want to try and tackle this process yourself, it can be done. And we're going to show you some quick tips here that might help you through the process. So a couple of items that you're going to need to get this process started. First, a hammer, some sheetrock nails, and a knife. So what we're going to do is take our knife here, open that up, and we're just going to scrape out the inside of this. And you can kind of see through them holes that I'm scraping out some material. And so we'll get this all cleaned out real good, and then we'll bend that metal back down and put a few nails in it. Alright, so now that we've got all of that material cleaned out from behind there, we're just going to take a few of our nails here and our hammer. I'm just going to give it a few light taps there and get that metal flattened back out as best we can. Now one thing to remember on this right here is you've got another piece of sheetrock that's about a 1/2 inch thick in most cases on residential, which is your house. I'm angling these nails back a bit so that I hit that wood that's back inside the wall here. We got this all flattened out. It's below where the sheetrock mud's going to float out over to it. We'll do a little bit more cleaning up here. There's some loose stuff. As you can see, that's really loose. It's not sticking to it. So I'm going to take my knife and clean all this up real good. And you can see that this metal here has still got some movement to it. If we just tried to put mud back over the top of this and retexture it and repaint it, eventually this is going to work its way loose. The slightest little bump on this corner and all of our work here would just be for naught. So we need to clean out as high as we need to go in order to get this bubble from moving. So we're going to add another nail here to see what happens. So I feel a lot better about that. I'm going to go out a little bit further.
As you can see here, we've exposed a lot more of this corner bead than what you could see originally. There was only about 3 inches that needed to be repaired. But here at Israel Contracting, we believe in doing things right. So to do that, we had to take out a bit more of this loose material here and put in a few more nails to make this thing 100%.
So we got that side there pretty much ready. We're going to go ahead and scrape off some of this loose material on this side and just see if we need to do any more repairing before we put some mud and texture back on it. So if you can see here on camera, I'm kind of angling this a little bit, and in order to get a better adhesion with our new sheetrock mud, if you just cut this at a hard line, eventually over time you would see a small crack there, and you'd have to redo this whole entire process again. So we've got this prepped and ready. We're going to go get some mud mixed up, get it floated out, and get some texture on it. This is an easy sand 45 minute, meaning that it dries and is able to be sanded within 45 minutes. So we're going to get started here, and I'm just going to take a damp washcloth and just wipe down all the sides that we're about to apply to. Make sure that there's no powder from the sanding or any of the scraping that we did. That way the mud that we put on here is going to have a better adherence to our surface. So we're going to take a sheetrock knife here. These come in various sizes. I'm using a 10 inch. In most cases, a 6 or a 4 would be beneficial for a small repair like this, but this is the one that I like to use. We're just going to scoop up a little bit of our mud, and this here is a mud tray. You don't have to have one of these. Something just to hold this material. So we're going to get it on our knife here, and then we're going to just come down into this corner and then gently push and apply and just drag it up. And in some cases the mud doesn't get into all of these cracks, but that's okay. We can come back over it again and push back into it, and then we'll just keep scraping over it there until we get a fairly smooth surface. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, and in a lot of cases you're going to get some lines, some grooves, because your knife here is scraping over this textured surface, and it's not always going to be smooth, but that's okay. We can come back later with a sanding block and sand all this out nice and smooth and get it ready for texture. Same concept, just going to push it in there and get that, just keep working it in and get it all nice and smooth for the most part. You see that kind of pushed some mud over on this side? That's all right. We'll just come back and smooth it out again. I think we just about have a good first coat on this. In most cases, a repair like this will take probably 2 coats, maybe 3. Just kind of depends on how deep the surfaces are. Now, as you can see, there's some mud kind of built up on this edge. I'm going to leave that alone, because if I keep trying to mess with this too much, it's just going to keep pulling the material where I don't want it. I can come back after a while and scrape that off and it'll be just fine. Just going to lightly rub down these edges where it feathers into the existing texture. That'll help with the matching of the texture when it comes time to spray it on. So this is an easy to use aerosol can of spray texture. It's perfect for these kind of applications, doing small repairs. And it is the final step in our process before we come back in and paint. Once this is all dried and cured, that's for another day. So that wraps up this tutorial on corner bead sheetrock repair. Hopefully this will help you with your own home improvement projects. We'll have more how-to videos coming soon. So until next time, I'm Jacob Yankovic with Israel Contracting. We'll see you again.